Things are fixed with Adria, and they're fixed with Beyonder. So now can we finally get on to some bigger stuff? Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with Season 2, Episode 20 of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. We're really hitting our last stride for this series, and it sucks. It really sucks that we're so close to the end and that the series was canceled in the first place, but there's unfortunately nothing we can do about it at this point. Disney does not give a shit. So the best we can hope for is just a good, satisfying ending. Now, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're going to go into with this. I don't know how this is going to close out, but we've got a few episodes until then. I'm still hoping for a very Casey-centric episode. We need at least one, right? But I don't know. We might not get it just because of the cancellation. Hopefully she at least continues to be a major character. I don't know anything going forward. I have no idea how this series ends. It's going to be really sad when it does, but I think we should just get on with it and just, find out how at least episode 20 goes. We can worry about the end when we get there, but let's see what this episode has in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. This does not bode well. And I'm not blaming the staff for this. I actually blame Disney more than anything. This is not an end of the series episode. This is maybe an early season 2 episode, but more honestly a season 1 episode. This is the kind of episode when you're still setting things up. Not like, oh, the series is going to be ending in like 4 or 5 episodes. That's not the time for an episode like this. And again, they have done what they have been able to do. This show was canceled on them, and, there's probably not much else they could have done. And this isn't quite a series like The Owl House, where it gets, into, full-fledged, constant, important shit by the end. This is a series that still does focus a lot on the little stuff, which this episode touched on. But a crush episode at this point in the series just feels very out of place. And the episode isn't inherently bad. In fact, there's a lot of great stuff about it. It's just, it is literally just the placement. Even just having this episode after the Beyonder stuff makes no sense. If this was the first episode back in season 2B, if this was episode 15, I could be completely fine with that. But to have this happen after all the stuff with, mind you, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but still, just in terms of timeline, maybe after episode 15. But even then, it's I don't know. But you know what I mean. It doesn't work after you have all this drama with Adria and the rest of the family and Beyonder. It's like after you have big shit like that, how do you go to an episode like this? And maybe this is an example of like a calm before the storm episode, like where it gets like really simplistic and goes back to like one of those very episodic type of episodes before like getting into the big finale stuff, the big like really important shit. It's possible, but again, specifically because this is about a crush and dealing with that entire side of things, this doesn't feel like it belongs at this point in the series. It just feels like out of place in terms of its uh there's a certain word I'm trying to think of, and I hate it when I can't think of that. In terms of its just placement. I can't think of the word I was trying to think of. Its placement just feels wrong. A crush episode should not be this late into a series. But let's talk about the episode itself, just outside of its placement. The episode touches on negative tropes and stuff that were featured a lot in a lot of 80s romantic comedies and whatnot, where there's a lot of toxicity, a lot of very bad messages and everything. And not every 80s romantic comedy was like this, of course, but a lot of them were. And it wasn't even just the 80s, the 90s had them too. Even the 2000s to a point had movies where it's like, oh, the romantic leads act in a way that's not that great. Like, let's be honest, The Notebook, what probably the most famous romance film out there. Um, Ryan Gosling's character in that, not exactly the best guy at first. Like he's kind of terrible at first. Um, and he gets better, but still, it starts off really kind of stalky. Let's be honest. And it's like that movie is, I think, from the early 2000s. So it's like it's not just the 80s. And I know that these are like, what, 12, 13 year olds living in 2023, 2024, somewhere around that time. Modern day. And even if we're saying 2023 specifically is when this takes place, like, they would have been born in like 2010. Think about that. I know that sounds horrifying and makes you feel really fucking old, but think about that. Like, God, I'm turning into the Crypt Keeper here. um, yeah, a kid who would be born like 2010 and after, if they're this age in this time period. A lot of them wouldn't have seen 80s movies and stuff, and wouldn't have like, and going with what it showed, like with the regular phone in this and everything, a lot of them have probably never seen that. They've probably only seen cell phones. There's a lot of things in here you got to realize that this is speaking to this audience, the modern kids. And yeah, us who are older watching this are going to like laugh at that, like, oh, they don't know what a rotary phone is, haha. They don't know what this is or that is, etc., etc. It's like, it's funny though because there's a fucking roller rink in the series, and roller rinks pretty much don't exist anymore. Like, where the fuck can you find a roller rink in 2025? I like the last roller rink that I have seen in my life is not too far from where I live now. And I think that closed down like in like 2011. Like when I first moved back up here from Georgia. That closed down like way back then. That was over a decade ago. And I have not heard of any roller rinks still existing because that's not really a thing anymore. It's like how malls are like shutting down all over the country, and malls are becoming kind of a lost a lost thing. I was gonna say lost art, but that doesn't quite work. You know what I mean? Pastime. Malls were massive in the 80s. It was this big boom, and even the 90s malls were still really huge. But then it started like slowly going downhill, and nowadays it's like you can find malls still, but they're a shell of their former selves. They have a lot more closed stores in them. They're just not as big anymore. And a lot of like the really big malls in terms of size, you don't find those really much at all anymore. The malls you'll see are smaller. It's just it's a lost art, for lack of a better term, clearly. And it's the same thing with like roller rinks and other stuff like that. We have to understand that these kind of things change with the times. Like even arcades aren't as big anymore. You have a hard time finding those. Like there's just other things that kids nowadays do. And it's going to keep changing. And it's going to make us feel old. It's going to make us feel like out of place. But that's just how things work. And that's fine. There'll always be things that kind of like go between generations. Conventions have existed since like the 70s, 80s. And they're still going strong, if not stronger than ever. So it's like there's still ways that different generations can connect. It just it's just gonna change in some ways. Um, but yeah, it's like some '80s films and all did have a lot of that, and the way I put it when I react to a lot of stuff like that, I just put it as simply as this just didn't age well. And sometimes it's not even the entire film; it's just portions of it. It's like, oh, that joke didn't age well. That joke is really not great, or like the way this character is acting, or oh, like this is something that just doesn't make sense for 2025. Stuff like that. Um, and that's okay because we change as we go along, and our perspectives on certain things, especially like jokes and whatnot, also change. Also, what's socially acceptable. And that's important, and that's going to keep happening. And I hate it when people try to say, oh, like back in my day, people could actually tell jokes and be funny. It's like, no, back in your day, people were just insulting each other and pretending they were jokes. People were just being assholes and pretending they were being funny. That's not comedy. But anyway, moving on. Eduardo developing a crush on Lunella is fine. Like, I don't ship it at all, but it's like kids go through that phase in their lives. I mean, I definitely did. Um, and Lunella, I think, said pretty much the same thing she said to Marvin, that she's just not ready for that right now, right? That she's not at a point in her life where she wants to date. And that's entirely fair, and I actually still really like that. Because that's a reasonable thing. And anyone can experience that at any age. It's not just exclusive to like 12, 13 year olds. You can be at a time in your life where you're not in that position where you want to date. Um and I know there's like people who have like shipped Lunella with Casey and whatnot, or even Brooklyn. And it's not even a straight versus gay kind of thing. It's like because I feel like even if Lunella is slash were queer to any degree, I still think it's just like she's just not ready for that kind of thing at the moment. Again, she's only 12 or 13. She has a lot to like focus on right now and to look forward to. She's not worried about dating. Maybe in a couple years she'll be ready, but not right now. And that's completely fair. And there's nothing wrong with shipping. You can ship as much as you want. Shipping is for fun, as long as you don't take it too seriously and attack others because of their ships. The only kind of shipping I tend not to like is when you take a character who's like a canon sexuality and ship them intentionally against that. because it's erasure, and I hate that. And I don't like when creators try to like excuse it either, by the way. It's actually one of the things I will call out Vivian Madrano on, Vivzy Pop, because she tries to like excuse that and like tell off people who get angry about that. It's like people can ship whoever they want. I don't care who they ship my characters with. It's like, girl, I love you. I love your work, but no. Shipping a canon lesbian character like Vaggie with a man, like Angel Dust, especially, who's also canon gay, by the way, is extremely toxic. It's not okay. It is erasure of gay and lesbian identities. And yeah, it's fiction, it's cartoons, but still, it sets a precedent. It gives people the feeling that it's okay to do that with like live action shows and whatnot. And then they'll start doing it in real life. It's just like, I've seen people make these kind of leaps. It's not out of the question. It's just, you shouldn't support that or excuse it. If you make your character, or if you have a character that you like who is queer, then their ships should reflect that. Like, if you want to, for some reason, ship Vaggie with another girl character, like, I don't know, Cherry, like, that's fine. I don't understand why you would do that, considering her and Charlie are in a pretty happy relationship. There is one little bump, but bumps happen. I don't know why you would want to ship a character who's in a canon relationship. It just makes no sense to me, but that's not that bad. That's not that big of a deal. But shipping, like, again, a lesbian character with a guy or a gay male character with a girl, it's just like, that is so, like, irresponsible and just disrespectful. As a queer person, that irritates me. And I'm speaking as someone who's, like, pansexual, someone who, you know, is into guys, girls, NBs, doesn't matter. It's like with a character like Blitz, you can ship him with anyone from Hello Boss because he's pansexual. That's fine. But like, Millie is straight, is canonically straight. She's an ally, but she is straight. So shipping her with a girl like, I don't know, Verosica or someone, feels wrong. But like with Moxie, you can ship him with guys or girls because he's bi. It's like, just be respectful about things like that. It's not that difficult. I know I'm getting very off track here. And for the characters in this, it's like we just have not had anything confirmed canon. So Lunella technically could be bi or pan in some way. It's possible. Or hell, she might even be like a lesbian and not know it. It's possible. And we don't know about Casey either or anyone else. Brooklyn we know is trans, but we don't know her orientation otherwise. And we don't know like other characters either because it doesn't go into that. And I'm kind of I'm to a point glad it doesn't for a number of reasons, but like there is also a part of me that like would like to see it just personally just touch on that kind of thing. But I also like what they're doing. I like that Lunella is just not ready for that. That's also a valid point. It's not even saying she's like Ace or Arrow or anything. It's just saying she's not ready for a relationship at this point in her life. That is so valid. And the thing is, Eduardo entirely respected that. She just had to be honest with him. Instead of doing this entire bullshit with Blobby, which was stupid as fuck. Why would you bring that back? Why? Why? We did not need to bring that back. Hate it so goddamn much. Um, but yeah, also the fact that they did reiterate this kind of thing like twice now with Marvin and now with Eduardo, it's like I don't really think you needed to do this twice. You already did a crush situation. And hell, with Marvin, like Lunella actually did kind of reciprocate it. She did have feelings for him too, but also at the same time acknowledged that she wasn't ready for an actual relationship yet. Which I think that actually hits a little harder because she did have some feelings there. So it's like, why would you need to do this again? It just feels repetitive. Even if the episode itself is well done, even if the episode is good, it can still feel repetitive. Yeah, it's just this episode felt out of place, repetitive, and just a weird choice to have this at this point in the series. It's not a bad episode, it's just so needless. So, yeah, kind of conflicted on this one. But tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur Season 2? Let me know, and thank you so much as always for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.